Hi everyone. So today I'm going to be talking to you about how to get started with assembling all of your photos into one collaged image. Remember, there are two options for this particular project. You can create a collage of your images in a gridded format or a free-form format where they'll be overlapping and all different sizes. And I'm going to explore that with you right now. So you'll notice that up here on the screen we have both of my contact sheets that I created from the previous demo already loaded, and I also have a brand new Google Drawing as well. So I want to go ahead and retitle my Google Drawing as Moment Reassembled. That's the title of the project, and my name. Alright, so here we go. In order to get started, what you want to do is you're going to want to select all of your images. Since they're already small and been resized, this will make it really easy. So if you hold down your left button on a mouse or on your keypad, you can get this little blue box that pops up, and this will help you select all of your images. Then you can hit Control Copy, or you can right click and copy, and then go over to your new Google Drawing, and you're going to paste them in. You can do this by doing Control V. You can also right click and click Paste. Alright, so I have my images here. I'm going to go ahead and scoot them off to the side and take these and overlap them just so they're out of my way. And then I'm going to do this. Repeat the same project to grab my other images. So I'm copying and pasting those images in. Oops. I'm going to move them off to the side and take this bundle and scooch them off also. Alright, so now that I've done that, I now have all of my photos that I took for the project available and at my disposal. Now know that you only have to utilize at least 10 images for this project. You do not have to use all of them. But I highly encourage you to use probably closer to 15 at least, just because the more that you use, the more you can kind of break up your image and sort of really play with your results. So for this demonstration, I'm going to choose this particular image as my main image. So that's where you want to start with first. You want to choose one image that's kind of your main image. And the one nice thing about Google Drawings is that when you resize your image in the bottom corner, it will not be distorted. So it's automatically going to keep those proportions for you and make your life a lot easier. All right. So here is my main image. I'm going to make a copy of this. So Control Z, Control V to make a copy. So the reason why I make a copy is so that way I can kind of reference where am I going with this particular piece as I'm recreating it. So what I want to do is the main thing that I really want to hone in on is his face, because that's what is most unique about this particular photo. So I'm going to crop. So in order to crop, I'll go back for you guys. Remember that Control Z is that awesome undo button. So if you make a mistake, Control Z is the right way to go. So in order to get these cropping lines to pop up, there are two ways to do this. So you can either double click on your image itself and it'll pop up, or you'll notice up here in your toolbar, you have, if you hover over it, it'll say crop image. So those are the two ways that you can access the cropping tool. So one of the things that will probably happen, so you'll notice here, I didn't hit or I didn't select the moving button or the crop tool. I actually just moved my image inside the crop. So if that happens, it's okay. You can either Control Z, or you can move your cropping tool around and then move your image to kind of fit your whatever crop that you choose to use. So I'm just really going to focus in on my son's face, because that's sort of the key part of this particular image. I'm going to make it a little bigger. All right. So now that I have his face, I now want to start reconstructing different aspects of the photo. So the next thing I want to really look for is, ooh, this would be a good photo for this background area that's kind of behind him over here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this image. I'm going to make it bigger. And then I'm going to keep following the same sort of steps. Oops. I reformatted my image and not cropping. So again, that's going to happen, as you can see here. And that is okay. All right, I'm going to make this a little bigger. So that's kind of fun. Let's see here. So he's got his arm out with this pumpkin. So, ooh, this one will be good for this pumpkin that's kind of in the front. Resize, make it bigger. And I'm going to focus in on that pumpkin. All right. So in this one right now, I'm working in a gridded format. So I want to make sure that I keep equal distance between my different images. So for right now, I'm just playing around with cropping. I'm not super worried or concerned about how this is going to work out in the end, because the last part, or the last piece, is where you'll really play with some of your images and stuff. So here is a really good image of him reaching out with his arm. So that's my focus here, is grabbing that arm, reaching for that pumpkin. Now I've got that sliver. Move his head again. All right, so I'm actually going to reduce the pumpkin a little bit. Move that down, arm down. All right, so that's looking pretty good. All right, now his head looks ginormous in comparison, so I'm going to shrink that a little bit more. All right, so the next tidbit is I want to find something with his chest area. So this one's a good one because it really focuses in on his chest area as he's turning. All right. Get in a little closer. So you can see that I'm kind of piecemealing or piecing back together my image, but I'm not concerned or super worried about, obviously perfectly matching the photos up with each other. I just am kind of reassembling different aspects and different pieces. So you'll continue doing this, and then when you reach towards the end, then you're going to just basically be cutting out slivers. So I'd be looking for things where I can just cut out a tiny sliver of different parts. So like this, for instance, I could cut out this sliver to fit and fill in here. So let me do that. So now that once you have all those key elements, then just, cutting out some little slivers to fill in the blanks. And it's okay if your proportions for your gridded section are not perfect. So as you can see here, I've already included 6 images, and your requirement is only to have at minimum 10. So the other things that I would need to add or include would be sort of the window that's back over here. So I'd want to look for a good image. So this one's pretty good for including that window. So that's my focus over here. Just grabbing that window. Now I might want to shrink it a little bit so it fits better, or crop it a little bit more so it fits better into the space. All right. So you get the idea, and I'd want to probably find another like sliver, and I can cut that in here. So once you finish with your grid, you will be adding in a background. So you can pick any sort of muted or simple background. So I would pick, a neutral color or a color that's not super distracting. So like grays work really well, or I just like personally just throwing on a white background. And that's it. So that is it for the gridded version. So again, I'd keep playing with this until I kind of fill up the whole space with a gridded portrait based off of that original image, and collaging all those different pieces together to really kind of reflect on David Hockney's work. Select everything, clear the slate, and I'm going to do the same process again, but this time I'm going to show you the freeform version. So let me select all of these, copy, and paste. Move them over to the side, grab these other images, kind of move them out of the way. All right, same thing again. Grab everything, copy and paste, move them off to the side, grab these ones, hide them a little bit more. All right, so now I have my canvas again. I have my image that I primarily want to work from. I'm going to go ahead and grab that, make it bigger. All right, so you're going to follow the same sort of strategy or process, but this time your goal is to overlap your images and crop different pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and crop down. Oops. You can see sometimes it goofs on you, and that's okay. So remember, Control Z is your friend for sure when it comes to making quick fixes. All right, now I've got his head, so I'm thinking this might be good to put it in the corner down here. It's much bigger. Or maybe I'll focus on his arm. Let's do that. Let's do a fun crop like that. I'm going to kind of line up the arm. And maybe I want to turn it a little bit. All right. So next, I'm going to look for something to either continue the pumpkin or work on part of his body. This one might be really good. Make it much, much bigger. Alright, so all I'm looking for or looking to do is to semi-match. They're not going to be perfect, but sort of match just a little bit key components. So I'm just really trying to match sort of a little bit of the edges that are happening here. And part of the fun part is playing with how much you show, your overlapping. And this one might be really good for the background space. So I will put that over here. Now I want this to be in the background, so to move this to the background, you can right click on order and send to back. And so now it's behind all of my images. So I can move it around and it's going to be behind all of them. The same is true if you find an image of something that you're like, oh, I want this to be in the front. You can do the same thing. So let's say I want this one to be in the front. I can right click, order, bring to front. Alright, so this one's probably really good for the edge of the window over here. Or maybe, yeah, let's do that. I'm going to play with that, crop that in. And this will be added. Oops, that's way too big. Added over here at some point. And I want to move it to the back. So right click, order, send to back. Now let's see here. I want to work on his arm. So I want to find an arm that makes sense, kind of for his posing. So here's this one, but I have this arm that's also coming in front, so I want to try to avoid that. Oh, this one might be really good. Maybe I can get his arm and leg with this one. Let's go ahead and make it bigger. Pull it over. Crop down a bit. Bigger. And then I want to crop so it meets the edge. All right, so you can kind of see how this is going. Turn it a little bit so it fits a little bit better into here. Okay, so as you can see, I'm slowly making my way. Now I think I might want to make his head just a little bit smaller. All right, so a lot of this will take a lot of guesswork of kind of piecemealing everything together. With the freeform version, you can leave negative spaces. So you can leave areas blank. So like this, for instance, I've utilized 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 photos. I would need at least 4 more to kind of finish this off. So maybe I want to make his head smaller and add something on the top of his head, add more of those pumpkins over here, and then maybe finish off the window over here. And that concludes this tutorial. If you have any questions or need any additional help, please feel free to reach out and let me know, and I will be happy to assist. Thanks guys for watching.